Yo, what's going on, guys? Gonna be showing you how to actually carry on Ekko in the jungle. He's actually an insane jungler if you're playing with the right runes, right build, and right jungle route. For your runes, take Dark Harvest with Sudden Impact, Eyeballs, Treasure Hunter with Triumph, Tenacity, Attack Speed, AP, and Armor. You could also go for Gathering Storm, Absolute Focus. However, that can force you into going Merc Treads against CC heavy teams, which can feel quite awkward, especially in the early mid game. For your clear on Ekko, you pretty much always want to do a full clear, because his ganks are inconsistent to say the least. Because if you miss your W, you don't have a whole lot outside of your Q slow, and your W takes roughly 3 seconds to land. They can see it before it's going to land, especially if they have vision of you before you start it. They have so much time to react. If you can start your W from outside of their vision, it's much more optimal. Here we're going to cast it around 127 to get it going on a cooldown, and so we can also land our stun, just like you see there. Your shield lasts just as long as the stun does, so you don't really get value out of the shield itself whenever you stun monsters with it. It's just more of the value from the stun itself. Your W makes your auto attacks do a lot more damage whenever something is below 30% health. You don't necessarily want to smite your first camp early to achieve this though, just in case the enemy support or somebody tries to cheese you. Something to keep in mind. We did smite the Krugs early though to try to get that extra bonus damage from our W. Every third hit will do a bunch of bonus damage against that target, and on top of that, it'll speed you up if it's a champion. It does go on cooldown for that specific target though, so you can't perma spam it infinitely with no cooldown. We're gonna go ahead and pull it out over here and step back and let these guys die naturally. You can take Blue and Gromp at the same time, so starting on your red buff tends to be the more efficient thing to do. Try to keep your HP as high as possible by using your W whenever it's up, preferably against a camp that's still healthy, so you actually get some value out of it. By keeping your HP high, it's unlikely you'll be killed inside of your own jungle, even if the enemy jungler does decide to invade you, which is honestly one of the most optimal ways to play against Ekko is by trying to pressure him. You don't have to take Blue and Gromp at the same time, but once you get the hang of it, it really does help your clear speed a lot. Ekko has a fairly slow full clear, so this is the weakest part of his game, is what you're seeing right here. With that being said, we just did a 3-minute 20, pretty much full HP full clear, which is pretty solid for Ekko. We're going to E into him, hit him with a Q. Got him with Ignite into the stun. He needed to flash, but he was being greedy. He thought he was outside of it. We're going to hit it with the E, then Q. It's much easier to land your Q once you're at point blank range. It's a rather slow skill shot and very telegraphed, to where if you raw Q like this, they'll try to dodge it, as you can imagine. So just keep that in mind. If you can hit them with an E first, you're on top of them and they can't really dodge it or react to it. That's what you want to do against targets that are going to try to dodge it like champions. Against monsters, it doesn't matter because they're not really trying to dodge. We don't have our W here. If we did, we would use it from brush. They have vision of us. We'll go ahead and E into her, hit her with a Q, get our Dark Harvest stack. She flashes away. Yuumi is stranded. We're gonna have to just run. We take a lot of damage. We also got ignited, which kind of sucks. We did get a Dark Harvest stack out of it, which is kind of sick. We can hop right over this wall. He didn't see me cast it, so he doesn't even know about this stunt. I can smite the Krug here for healing. Great heal from the Sivir. It's pretty sick. Even though Ekko's raw fighting power in the early game pre-6 isn't that good, it's still good enough to scrap down with other junglers whose early game scraps aren't insane, like Evelyn's or Kane's, Rammus, that type of stuff. But you certainly wouldn't want to try to scrap down a Warwick, a Lee Sin, Xin Zhao, or an Elise. Those top tier, nasty early game champions. Your main source of damage as you start to scale actually comes from landing 3 separate attacks from your passive, so like a QE auto or both sides of your Q and an E. And also from your R. Your R has 150% AP scaling on its damage. So if you can land big Rs, that's literally the most damage you can do on Ekko. Do keep that in mind. We haven't reset yet, only because of how this game's been playing out. Generally, you'll full clear gank, then reset. Or if it's a bad gank, you'll just full clear, reset, get your items. It's really good to take Ignite on Ekko. It gives you much better solo capability. You also don't have to go for Morello a lot of the time, even if they have a Mundo. It's a huge disincentive for pesky junglers who want to try to invade you and kill you. First item rush, grab Dark Sill, and grab tier 1 boots, and as much of this as you can afford of your Rocket Belt. Rocket Belt is extremely valuable to use with your E. Your E is a double dash. So first you get to use it, and then if something's within range, you get to use it again. Your Rocket Belt works really well with that. You can E, Rocket Belt, and then E2 onto them. The Rocket Belt gives you that extra movement speed and extra dash to close in to land what you're trying to land. I think Kane was top side, which is weird. It means his bot side jungle's up. I think he had a weird start. We'll see real quick. Yeah, he went for Raptors or Krugs or something when his blue came out because he did start bot side. Ekko's E has a lot of clearance. You can go over walls with it super easily. Every single wall in the game except for Giga Thicks, thin, small, and mediums you can easily go over, including the Raptor wall over for the mid gank. We're going to have to go bot lane here. Or I should say we get to. They're shoved up low HP. You can go over this wall, but not like that. You have to go over it the slightly thinner way. We're going to W from brush so she can't see it. We're going to E straight into her, then Q ignite. Down she goes. We get some Dark Sill stacks. This wave's going to push towards my teammates. I'm going to let it push towards them. I'm going to thin it out a little bit and slow it down. That way it doesn't crash. So now our wave catches. Bot lane should be in good shape. I don't really want to start dragging because I don't have smite. If I had smite, it would be an okay time to start it. Ekko's not the fastest dragon taker in the world. Once you're level 6 and up, you don't really need to use your W against monster camps because you farm healthy enough as is. I'm only doing it here because I'm not afraid of dying to the enemy jungler because we're ahead. And on top of that, nothing looked gankable. We just killed them bot, and I didn't see a Kali mid to where our W being on cooldown doesn't really affect us at the moment. Alright, cool. Go ahead and pull these together. We apply our passive to the blue, and you see it's ticking down. It's like that for everything. Minions, monsters, champions. If you're not comfortable taking that same time, try it in practice tool over and over until you can do it several times in a row. You'll find the right spot. Just a little bit of practice. He gets dragon. I guess we'll go top. Go for E max second, W max last. W from bush. We're gonna EQ. I try to slow her to keep her inside of my W. The first part of your Q actually slows, the second part doesn't. So landing the first part's actually way more important. Got her with our blue smite, sped up off passive, and then she couldn't land what she was trying to land because the extra movement speed. Kane might be looking for something, but he's not fed. He's going for blue Kane, Eclipse. I don't think Eclipse is going to be good versus our team though. Got a pretty beefy team. E into him, hit him with the Q, and down he goes. We have really good answers to the Kane. You want hard point and click CCs that he can't counter very well, like the Lulu polymorph, fairly low travel time. We have the set R, which is pretty fast, especially if Kane's already at point blank range. There's no way for Kane to react in time to R, use his own R. And then we have my Zanyas. If he Rs me, we're gonna have the Rise Zanyas. So this is actually a pretty bad game to be playing Kane, as in it's going to be very challenging for him to do what Kane would normally want to do. We kill him here. We hit him with our Q slow. Smite it so we can't smite it and heal off of it. We still have our E to chase. Down he goes. The first part of your Q does more... Well, at least at the beginning it does more damage. That's weird. So this... I'll just say for the sake of being correct right now, your second part of your Q does more damage, but your first... Okay, I was right. So yeah, your early game, the first part of your Q does more damage and it slows, but as the game goes on, the second part of your Q does more damage. But it's still most important to land the first part of your Q to slow them, that way you can stay on top and hopefully land your W as well. Even though we're sitting on a lot of gold, we don't have to back because we have a Dark Seal and we can still get some reasonable value by staying on the map. It's the only reason why I actually stayed. We could have pushed for Herald once Kayn was dead. That would have been a great option. Our Ignite is up, our R's up. I kind of want to do a dive. I don't necessarily trust the set though. This wall's too big to jump over, this colossal wall. Get our W down, EQ into it. And we're gonna go ahead and R out. And Cass lives with a little bit of HP. That's tragic. On the bright side, we did get a single Dark Harvest stack. That definitely wasn't worth it. I was a little surprised it gave Cass the stun on us. If you're close enough to her hitbox, it won't stun you because it pushes away from her centered hitbox. We'll go for Rocket Belt. At this point, you could go tier 2 boot. Since we're fed enough, going mesh here is fine. Going for free boots is a good option on Ekko. I would only recommend it though if you're planning on going Merc Treads anyways, because if you don't get the tenacity from the precision tree secondary, then if they hit you with 1 CC, you'll die before you get to press R, which gives you back tons of health and does tons of damage. So like for example, if I got Yuumi snared and I have no tenacity, I'll probably die before I come out of it, but since I have tenacity, I'll be fine. And now we can go for Sork Shoes instead and get some huge damage. They are triple AP though with the Cass, Yuumi, and Akali, to where if we did go for Merc Treads here, it would still be pretty good. I am very surprised he's here. We have our E to chase him. Rocket Belt into him. Close the distance into the Q. He's being a little butthole. I took so much damage from that. He can't kill me, but he's getting a ton of essence. Probably the wrong essence that he doesn't want, though. We can't quite make it over that big chunk. We can make it over the smaller one, though. You can, like I said, you can go over that one even. We need to stay alive, though, so we don't throw our mesh stacks. If we throw our mesh stacks, we're absolutely going to lose this game, because we're losing as is when their jungler has 0 KP and we have 6 KP. We absolutely have to stay alive. Your Q spreads out. Once it's at its max range, it's much easier to land. It's outward. And it spreads out if it hits a champion as well. Something to keep in mind. It does damage on the way out. That's the way out. And then on the way back in. It doesn't do any more damage the longer it travels. It's irrelevant at the distance it travels. Our Rocket Belt's up. Now is a great time to look for a gank. It's super easy to land your E and thus land your Q with the Rocket Belt. We're going to E, Rocket Belt. I really need to get this kill for my mesh. And alright, that's fine. We're still at 10 stacks. I don't really want to... Whoa, my Q actually took the whole thing. That's sick. Kane's probably going to push Dragon here. I'll ping that out. Kane's not going to want to play top side when his top laner's dead, so most likely he's going to go bot side. Best thing we could do is try to take this. Akali's fed, but not full item yet, so we might be able to run down there. This is much safer and guaranteed, though. Kane messes up. He's playing top side right now while his laner's dead, so now we're going to get this, and they're not even going to get Dragon as a trade. Yeah, it's rough for them. Kane's so far behind right now. I think I am going to get Merc Treads, though. Our team is so freaking AP heavy. The Yuumi Cass. Even Blue Kane has some magic damage. Go ahead and kite these out. We got one auto on the full health one. We missed the first part of our Q though, so we didn't get to apply our passive there. We'll run bot, get some mesh. They're both one full item. I'm one full item plus 10 mesh, so this is doable. They know I'm here. They have vision. We're gonna E rocket belt. Hit her with the key at point blank range. Hit her with the blue smite, the ignite. Auto attack Q, auto attack E. And we get the kill on the Yuumi. We'll go ahead and drop Herald so we don't end up dying or forgetting to use it. If you die and it's gonna expire, it'll expire while you're dead. It's really annoying. We hit her with our slow on our Q and our blue smite. E into her here. We still had our R. Your R heals you a lot based off of how much HP you had recently within the last 4 seconds. That's where most of the healing comes from. It does heal you a base amount, but like if you go from full health to no health and then you press R, you'll get way more back that way. I want the last hit for the gold and the XP. Auto attack into the Q. And the auto, right as the Q's re-landing as a faux smite. We still have R. We could probably get away with being in here, especially if we heal off the ground. I'm going to hold on to my E's and escape tool here. And hold on to my W as well. We can dive them bot. Ekko dives, once he has R, is actually incredibly strong, similar to a fiddle dive. Just run out. Drop a dookie on them. We gotta flop the wall. We don't have E, that's alright. Drop W. If it touches them, it'll slow them. I just realized there's 3 of them. I thought it was just MF and Yuumi. That's my bad. I had R. I could have still lived if they full turned on me. Probably still not full item because the Stork she purchased. She's probably sitting on a lot of gold as well. Most likely used a lot of their abilities closing the distance. I'd imagine why they weren't able to turn. We can go over this wall. This one. This one's a great one if they're on your turret. I'm actually going to grab this. This is a lot of golden XP. Surprised they stayed, and they stayed safe. They're hiding in brush. If they stayed on the turret, I would have killed them both. We could use some boots. That wouldn't hurt at this point. We're not going to waste our blue smite. Even though it would heal us, it's more important to have it. Kane's bot side. Oh gosh. He ended up going red Kane because he's getting a bunch of red essence off of me in the set. That's a mistake though. You never really want to go red Kane with Dark Harvest. Even though it seems like it kind of would work, but it really doesn't. You get kited out so hard. Heck, you don't even really want to play Blue Kane with Dark Harvest. Blue Kane's way better with Conk. It gives him a real all-in option versus bruisers and tanks. If you run Dark Harvest on Kane, you don't have a very good all-in option for champions who aren't full squishy. She's going to walk into us. Ekko's insane if people walk into you. You drop your W. Got it. She went away I wasn't really expecting. I thought she was going to walk right through me. Could probably kill them bot if they stay. We'll grab Scuttle real quick. I'll use my blue smite to take it faster. Kane's going to come over here. He's going to be on Gromp or his blue. So that's what's up. Should be here any second. I could stay to kill his bot lane if I really want to. I doubt this is worded either. It might be control worded, but not normal worded. We'll W from brush. E out. Oh, MF went the other way. It's kind of weird. I think she's behind my set. She's gonna walk into me. Oh no, she didn't. I don't even think. Oh, I am on a ward actually. This is bad. We're in a really weird spot. Luckily, they all ended up going kind of the same way. They don't have the best champs for chasing. It's really just the Kane that can. He doesn't even have tier 2s. We're Gonna have to R back. We couldn't quite pinch. It's not worth losing our mesh over. Set gets a kill. He's probably gonna end up dying for it. I just realized we're sitting on a stupid amount of gold. We'll go ahead and reset here. Yeah, we're resetting. Your W is such a good slow. Even if you don't land the stun aspect because you didn't cross through it, the slow itself is really, really good. Go ahead and get our Sorks. At this point, you would normally look for Lichbane, since if you have a stacked Measure Dark Sill, there's nothing wrong with going for the Rabadon. Now we would want to go for Azania's. If Cass hits us with her Vomit, you can't flash or dash. So it's going to get us killed. We can't use our R. Your R counts as a dash, so if you're grounded, you can't use it. Same with the Yumi Snare. Zhonya's is a perfect item for not wasting your shutdown gold and letting them have it. Gonna path in a dragon, need to keep our levels high, get Soul, and we'll win the game with... I don't think every lane lost. I think top lane went even, but outside of top, like every lane kind of lost. Which is fine. Ekko's the perfect champion to carry. He's good low, high, and mid elo. He's good in literally every elo. There's really no patch where he's bad either, since he has so much damage in his kit. He even has max health damage essentially off of his W. Give me that shield. I'm making them tank it. Since they're closer to it, it's hitting them. My E's on a cooldown, but we got W. Got with the Q, we'll flop over, go for the Cass. And see, this is the... That's part of the issue, is if Cass hits us with that. That's like the one ability we don't have a good answer to, is that one Cass ability. She just did it again. Got the Sivir R. Got it. Yeah, it's really, really awkward. We couldn't use our R, we couldn't use dash, couldn't use Rocket Belt. They're kind of overstaying though, they're being greedy. He's gonna die for it. We're gonna try to stall out the MF back. Take as many of these camps as we can. Ekko's much more challenging to kill than an Evelynn. Or I'd say even than a Shaco, for that matter. It's the fact that he has so much damage output and mobility. Even if Shaco technically has a higher quality of mobility situationally, the kill pressure Ekko applies makes it much more challenging to chase him, because he can hit you with a Q, which slows you. You're slowed now. And if the second bar hits you, you can E back in and just like one-shot you if you're not super tanky. We kind of need to reset. They also know I'm here, so there's really no upside to staying. I showed for no reason. We'll go ahead and yeah, we'll just look for the Zhonya's. It's going to be really, really valuable. Sivir's not fed. If she was, I'd let her have red, or if she was as fed as the enemy AD carry. She's not going to be able to do much with it. It's the thing. It'd be better on me for the healing, mainly. The extra slow on my auto certainly doesn't hurt. Both parts of the Q counts as a hit, and so does the auto, so we apply our passive. The clear speed's just so stupid, man. The longer the game goes, the passive's doing nearly 600 damage. Our W's doing every auto attack, they're below 30% health, does 20% of their missing. 20% of their missing health and magic damage is so stupid. We're gonna try to E through that. Can't really do it. E Rocket Belt, get her with the Q. Gonna have to R back, get all of our health back. We did chunk her. We don't have anyone there to finish it though. I wasn't sure if Cass had R, so I was kind of worried. Got our blue smite into the EQ. Down goes the Humors. And down goes Akali. Our comp scales better than theirs. The Akali falls off. The way Kane built falls off with lethality. And Ekko doesn't fall off at all. If you're playing him Dark Harvest, he never does. No matter how late it goes, he's so super annoying because the percent base damage that his W gives his autos, which you can apply with your E. And your R is 150% AP scaling. Our R does over 1300 damage right now, not including the healing it gives, which is very high. Your W is also 150% scaling, so the shield your W starts giving you is kind of nuts. And a W, E rocket belt. I'm gonna have to R back on their faces. Oh, I'm dead. Well, maybe not. I can't see shite. Yeah, I can't see anything. Our shield only lasts for 2.25 seconds. So even though she started her invisibility before I had even pressed my W, her shroud lasts somewhere near 6 seconds or more. No way to really outplay that. Once we were out of mana, we were doomed. We just gave her 1,000 gold. Oh well. You don't really need Morello when you have Ignite unless they have Soraka. They don't though. They don't have that much healing on their team since Kane built goofball items. All they have for healing is really the Yuumi at the moment. A little bit from the MF Eclipse and then cast self-healing if she lands a Q then E. Or I should just say if the target's poison in general and she lands an E, to be more specific. Yeah, I guess we go for Shadow Flame. Shadow Flame or Void Staff. Cass is pretty tanky, actually. She built triple HP items. 450, 250. That's 900 health plus 350. What is that? 1250? She built 1250 health. It's pretty freaking high. She also has Resolve Secondary. I was wondering why I couldn't just one-shot her. She's playing a weird Cass build. It's pretty high damage, too. I don't think Red Kane's worth playing. After they nerfed him, I think you just play Blue Kane Conquer, Red Kane items every single time. You go Gordon or Eclipse on the Blue Kane, building Red Kane items, and then you just get Red Kane items like Black Cleaver and Death Stance and whatnot. Oh, you already know I'm going to take this. E away. Since we have a lot of AP, our autos do a lot of damage against structures. That's not good. The enemies are actually kind of winning this fight. I'm gonna rocket belt away. I don't trust this fight. Kali's kind of stuck in base at least. Nice. I thought Rise was going to try to take that for the healing. We could definitely take their camps. I kind of want to do a big play, though. We're so fed. I think we could get away with it. EQ in. Let me land it. We got her flash out of that, too. My R is right there. None of them were stepping on my my thing, though. Hey, Cass. Oh, I'm dead, though. Yeah, she's doing so much damage, though. Holy crap. She missed so much, but she did so much damage. It's because we don't have Merc Treads. At this point, I just want the Mercs. I need survivability. Having the Mercs is going to be more useful. In hindsight, I should have just gotten Mercs this game since they are triple AP, the Cass, Akali, and the Yuumi. Even the MFE does magic damage, and she's doing a lot of those. Oh, they're very painful. Yeah, it does nearly 300 to us right now. She didn't even build any AP. I don't think her E scales off of 80, but it does magic damage. Scales off of AP. AP MF isn't really worth playing, though. Because her R has I forget the number, but it was a stupid high amount. If you land full R, her R has somewhere around 2000% 80 scaling. To where if you build like 200 AD, it's an extra multiple thousand damage. It's super, super high. She has the highest damage ability in the whole game. MF on her R. Pretty nutty. All that champ needs is a proper front line, which they absolutely do not have. Now we've given 2,000 gold to Akali. To kill this twice, 2,000 gold makes sense. Her Shroud's on a cooldown. Rocket Belt in. And that is GG's. Let's take a look at damage dealt, damage taken. Looking at damage dealt to enemy champions, we had the most dealt in the game. Looking at damage taken, we took the most in the game. Looking at self-mitigated, second most in the game. Very nice shields from the set. For our runes, we had pretty high value. I actually like this setup a lot. It feels super, super nice. First Strike's been nerfed quite a bit to where, looking at the win rates alone, it's quite a bit lower than Dark Harvest right now. The overall First Strike was somewhere around 49 to 53-ish% win rate. For Dark Harvest, it was more around like 52 to 65%. So Dark Harvest definitely has the edge. Wouldn't really recommend First Strike right now. The only thing you might consider changing is going Absolute Focus or Gathering Storm Secondary, but that feels more niche and situational than this. You can never really go wrong with taking Triumph Tenacity unless their team really does lack CC, like hard CC. So if their team had like a Master Yi, Vladimir, that type of stuff where they don't have real CC, then sure, you don't need the Tenacity. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this Ekko gameplay commentary guide, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Kingsticks. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.